decide. If you want leaders who can build, place your ex by the rising sun. If you want leaders who can lead properly, place your ex by the rising sun. On election day.
Pleasant good evening. Testing, testing. Pleasant good evening. All right.
When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Tell your neighbor, tell your friend, now is the time to rise and shine. Tell your mother, tell your father, now is the time to decide. If you want leaders who can build, place your ex by the rising sun. If you want leaders who can lead properly, place your ex by the rising sun. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Vote for peace, vote for love, vote for hope, vote for change. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Tell your neighbor, tell your friend, now is the time to rise and shine. Tell your mother, tell your father, now is the time to decide. If you want leaders who can restore hope, place your ex by the rising sun. If you want leaders who lead with love, place your ex by the rising sun. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago
All
wins.
right, testing, testing. All right, we are on. Pleasant good evening. Folks, we call our meeting to order, please. Just to let you know, safety briefing. The exits are clearly marked and the toilets are to the back of the grounds, the back of the tent, all right? At this time, we ask that you please stand for the national anthem and the prayer.
Forged from the love of liberty in the fires of hope and prayer, with boundless faith in our destiny, we solemnly declare, side by side we stand, highlands of the blue Caribbean Sea. This our native land, we pledge our lives to thee. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation.
Almighty God, most beneficial and merciful, Creator of the universe and embodiment of divine wisdom and light, we come before you with thanksgiving and praise. May your will be done in our nation as it is in the heavens. Please bless our political leader, party officials, activists, and all the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Give us the grace to always see good, be good, and do good, and the courage to serve the people. Protect us as we stand against injustice and iniquity, and inspire our endeavors to find the right solutions to the problems that are affecting our fellow citizens. Grant that we may always work together with humility and respect for the greater happiness of all and the honor and glory of our country.
Please be seated. UNC family, pleasant good evening. Las Lomas, a pleasant good evening. Wonderful, wonderful. We are in the final stretch. Yes, and we must never lose sight of the target and the goal. Remember, they say a desperate man is a dangerous man, and we know that they're desperate. But we know that we are engineered, ready, and set that come April 28th, a new Prime Minister will be there, ushering good governance once again. Kamala Prasad Bisesa and the UNC. Never lose sight of the fact that they are desperate. We are talking about a different political beast. We are talking about lying, taxing, thieving, baby killing, money missing, bullying, government. Don't lose sight of that. Don't ever get complacent. Don't ever feel relaxed, because we have a job to do, and it's not over until we get to the very end. Understand that. There are days that you may feel as though you can't carry it, but we are here to carry, because we are UNC, and when UNC wins, beautiful. That's what we're talking about. Our first speaker for the night is a young man, an entrepreneur, economist, and former temporary senator in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. He holds a Bachelor in Science in Economics with a minor in International Relations. He has built businesses in technology, data and research, renewable energy, and tourism. And he's your winning candidate for Malabar Mausika. UNC family, please put your hands together and welcome Mr. Dominic Smith.
When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Tell your neighbor.
Good night, brothers and sisters, good night. What a beautiful sight is before me tonight. Las Lomas, you have come out tonight. Let me hear your voices. What a grateful night we have tonight, because tonight is the 19th of April. And that means, brothers and sisters, the countdown is on. The countdown to victory is on. The countdown to what will be one of the landslide victories that the United National Congress and the Coalition of Interests will ever come to. And you will remember tonight, 9 days left to go. 9 days left to go. But we have to keep faith. I'm getting ahead of myself because I'm excited. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. I'm excited for the future of this beautiful nation. And I know in Horquetta, Talparo, you are excited also. So I want to bring greetings to all that have come to this wonderful location on this historic night. A couple days before the last week, I want to thank my brother, your candidate, your winning candidate. Let's hear it for Horquetta Talparo candidate, Mr. Watts. I want to thank all of the supporters, all of the executive members that have come out here to show their support for the United National Congress and the Coalition of Interests. And I want to thank, most importantly, the people of Trinidad and Tobago who will entrust us with their vote come April 28th. Wonderful blessings to our leader, our visionary leader, the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisesa, Senior Counsel, all members of the media, all protocols observed. Tonight I stand here before you, not as a young man, but as a believer in you, a believer in this country, and a believer in the power of the people. And I want to tell you tonight that in Malabar Mausaka, an energy is moving through that community. Can I hear you, brothers to the left? Where are my Malabar Mausaka people? Can you smell the victory that is coming to us? Can you feel it? I tell you, when we walk the streets, when we walk in Peytonville, when we walk in Mahogany Drive, when we walk in Sabura Street, when we walk all over our constituencies, people are hearing the good news. And the good news, my friends, is that change is coming. Change is coming, and it is coming directly to your doorsteps. From this day forward, this is a rallying call. This is a rallying call for all of our supporters. We are leaving no one on the sidelines. We are all involved in this great process. Because I want to let you know, power concedes nothing without a demand. Power concedes nothing without a demand, my friends. And that demand has to come from the people. That demand has to come from your finger. So when you go on April 28th and you dip your finger in the ink, I want you to wake up like a general on April 28th. I want you to wake up like a warrior on April 28th. I want you to come out in your numbers on April 28th. I want you to show them that the people of Trinidad and Tobago have the power of change. You know, tonight, yellow is definitely the code. And it's the code that is sweeping every single constituency, from the east to the west, from the north to the south, from central Trinidad. I am telling you, people have yellow fever right now. The fever is on because yellow is sweeping this entire country. And I see it right before my very eyes. And it is obvious. The writing is on the wall. Because one thing you cannot prevent, one thing you cannot shy away from, is that we have given you the chance. Mr. PNM, we've given you the chance. And you know what you have given us? What have you given us? I tell you, I go through every single street and community, and as we're walking through, all I see is decay. All I see is disregard. All I see is a government that doesn't care about you. All I see is a community that wants to be helped. All I see is hardworking people that want to help each other, but they can't. You know why? You know why? Because they don't have the opportunity that the government and the state is meant to provide. But I'm telling you here tonight, that will change. Because when you build a house, you build it from the foundation up. You don't build it from the top down. And the United National Congress and the Coalition of Interests, we are building from the ground up. And that involves every single individual here tonight. You know, it's laughable. The People's National Movement. They should take away people from that. It should be NM, a national movement. And then it should take away national as well, because that N don't mean anything to them. In fact, they should move the movement somewhere else. Get it out of Trinidad. We don't want the PNM here. We don't want them here at all. They've come up with this new theme. First, they were saying all in. We all in, partner. Yes, all of us together, united as one. Now I see, all of a sudden they're responsible. All of a sudden they turn from all in to now they are responsible. Right? Well, I have something to tell them fellas down in the PNM, in the Balize, where the Balize now turn yellow. You are responsible, Mr. PNM. You're responsible for crime. You are responsible for the murders in Trinidad and Tobago. You are responsible for dying babies in the ICU. You are responsible for economic collapse. You are responsible for a collapse of hope. You are responsible for the degradation of all manner that is sacrosanct in our society. That is what your responsibility has been to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. You know, the Prime Minister once said, we in the PNM are the only ones who can govern. You know who said that? Dr. Eric Williams. And you know what he also said? Democracy means responsibility. And if the government fails, it must go. Well, I am here to tell them tonight, it's time to leave. Pack your bags. Pack your bags. You need a driver? You need a driver for you to leave? The United National Congress, we have plenty maxi, we have bus, we have bicycle, we have skateboard, we have anything you want, but you must leave and go. We have a boat too. Well, as I said in my last speech, the PNM don't move in boat, they move in yacht. So maybe they will take the big yacht and they will go. But I'm very happy here tonight. I'm happy to be at the footsteps of what is considered a great wall in the East-West corridor. And I am here to tell you tonight that that red wall that they've been speaking about is now a yellow wall. Because we will beat them from every single corner of this country. We'll beat them, I'm a partner in Arima. We'll come down the stretch. We'll beat them in Horquetta, Talparo. We'll move all the way down to Lopino, Bonaire. We'll come down to Malabar, Mausika, and we will beat them there too. And let me tell Mr. Roger Alexander, Roger that. We beat them in Tunapuna. And Mr. Davis Perez will give it to them in St. Joseph. And when they come down by Saddam Hussein, it's legs down the line as well. And don't feel the people in Port of Spain forget you either. Don't feel the people in Port of Spain forget you. Because at the end of the day, one thing is true. People deserve better. People deserve better in this country. I tell you what, change will not come if we wait for some other person or some other time. I want you to think about that for a second. Change will not come unless you are involved in that change. I have met so many young people in Malabar, Mausika during my walks. I've spoken to most members of society in those walks. I've spoken to the elderly, and I've spoken to a group of people, an age demographic who is often forgotten in this country. I want to speak directly to the young people of Trinidad and Tobago. You are the forgotten vote in this country. And you are the most vulnerable in the next 5 years. And some of you may say, well, I'm not political. Some of you may say, this don't really affect my life. But let me tell you something. Every single vote has power. Your vote has power. People have told you that you don't matter, young people. They have told you directly to your face that they don't care about you. And for 10 years, you have been in the doldrums. But I want to tell you, once every 5 years, you see this finger here? Once every 5 years, the power returns to every young person in Trinidad and Tobago. And it is your responsibility. You want to talk about responsible? It is your responsibility to vote. You're not voting for Dominic Smith. You're not voting for any candidate that we have on our slate. And I tell you, every candidate on our slate is one of dignity and honor. But you are voting for yourself. You are voting for you. So in every constituency, young man, young woman, I want you to take that name off. Take Dominic Smith off when you see the ads and place your name there. Because a vote for me is a vote for you. A vote for the United National Congress and the Coalition of Interest is a vote for you. Because there has been no government under the sun in Trinidad and Tobago that cares more for the people of Trinidad and Tobago than the United National Congress. I want to speak directly to my people, my friends, my brothers. You see them on the corner there? My warriors, let me hear you. My warriors in Malabar Mausika. It have a fella. They call him the Imitation Dominic. All you heard of him? Will the real Dominic please stand up? I am right here before you. He have a slogan. Rockin' with Dominic. Rockin' with Romaine, something like that. Well, I am here to tell you, when I went to the constituency of Malabar Mausika, you know what they tell me? Romaine, you better rock so. Romaine, you better ride out. Because Malabar Mausika is going to the United National Congress and the Coalition of Interest. And I'm here to tell you, we are riding with the UNC. We are riding with the United National Congress. We are riding with the Coalition of Interest. And come April 28th, we will take it home.
Everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinidad wins. Trinidad wins. Everybody wins. Everybody.
UNC family, another round of applause for your winning candidate for Malabar Mausika, Dominic Smith. And he is so correct. Las Lomas, no, you're not tired. If anything, you're tired of suffering. You're tired of the fact that you simply want them to go. But as far as energy, you have the energy and you are ready. Our next candidate is a former member of the Defense Force and the Elite Special Anti-Crime Unit. He's also certified in criminal intelligence analysis, equipping him with the skills to understand and combat complex criminal networks and contribute meaningfully to national security. He has consistently walked the streets of Arima and understands the everyday struggles of citizens. With a heart for service and a voice for the voiceless, he is ready to bring integrity, security, and progress to Parliament. Las Lomas, UNC family, please put your hands together and make some noise for your winning candidate for Arima, Nigel Moses!
When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinidad wins. Trinidad wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Tell your neighbor, tell your friend, now is the time to rise and shine. Tell your mother, tell your father, now is the time to decide.
Good night to la Horquetta Talparo.
all protocols observed. Now, they pulled me aside and told me that try not to be as angry. If you all follow me on TikTok, they started calling me the angry man. Now, I'm no longer angry because I'm starting to get accustomed with what I'm experiencing from the People's National Movement in Arima. Now, I've been complaining about the wars in Arima for far too long. And boom, the PNM created a genie for election. A genie. It have leaks. So I am driving now, looking around for PNM holes, and boom, the genie started to fix them. But here the ironic thing. Since the COVID, there have been a number of children that has not returned to school. So I was waiting to hear boom, but there's no genie. The People's National Movement have disassociated themselves from our little children in Arima. So I said, well, all right. They gave us a PD 2100 from Sandy Grande. They have identified that they are going to lose Sandy Grande. So they say, well, oh gosh, we can't lose Sandy Grande and Arima. So let's take a PNM PD and put it in Arima to apply pressure there so that the incumbent shall win Arima. So I started to walk in the Valencia area and realized that Arima, we are lucky because Valencia is in trouble. Because at least we had some booms in Arima, but there are no booms in Valencia. There is no genie. None. Now, what I'm asking myself is, where is the member of parliament for Arima? And when I go on the Facebook page, she in Blanche shares cooking wild meat, or she in another line, or she here, or she there. I say, well, it looks like when she go up there, she'll be moving with the genie bottle. So there's nobody to rub that bottle, and there's no booms. Now, new news. For persons who follow cycling, yesterday I had an event in the Skinner Park area. And I was looking forward to attending the event at the Arima Velodrome today. The international cyclists did not ride because of the dilapidated state of the Skinner Park. There were 6 crashes. 6. And at the Arima Velodrome, when the youths are looking on for their aspiration to decide, I want to be a cyclist, I want to be this, and I want to be that, the international cyclists did not ride because the Arima Velodrome is in a worse state than the Skinner Park. Worse state. Worse. So we have sports that is lacking in Arima, worse yet Valencia, also to include in Malabar Musica, because we work in a symbiotic relationship with sports. So then we are not going to get any sporting activities in the Arima, Malabar Musica area. You all understand that? Now what I want you all to do is close your eyes. I want each and every individual to close your eyes. Just relax. Let's listen to my voice. Close your eyes. Now, picture your children. Keep your eyes closed. Picture your children. Also picture your grandchildren. And now picture another 5 years of PNM. Look how much eyes open one time in awe. The among the eyes open, they're like, what this man talking about? So our intent is to remove the People's National Movement. That is one. But I have much more than that. I am going to work to remove the PNM and to ensure that they never return. We don't want, the United National Congress don't want no genie We don't want no boom. We will be working from day one straight through to the next general elections. And when we win in 2030, we will continue working with you and for you. But before 2030, we have another thing to deal with. The local elections. So if the field, the curtail book in 2025, on the 28th of April, they have another thing coming. Because after that, the curtail book again. Because we need to get the local election and ensure that it supports central government to ensure and support the Trinidad and Tobago constituents and take us to the next level in Trinidad and Tobago. Now I want you all to close your eyes again. Close your eyes. I'm seeing some eyes still open. Close your eyes. Because right now we're in a dream world. Picture 28th of April. The PNM trying to thief. Picture it. Picture it in your mind. We caught them, we fix it, and we win the election. Now picture our political leader being inaugurated as the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago with all the member of parliaments of the candidates that are here tonight and who are not here and walking, and you picture that as your new government. And that is not a dream. That is reality. And I am Nigel Moses, representing a Rima constituency, and I look forward to us removing these wicked people. And as I said before in the last meeting, go away from here. Thank you.
When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Trinbago wins. Everybody wins.
Folks, another round of applause for your Arima winning candidate, Nigel Moses. Oh, yes. No one wants to envision another 5 years, not even another 5 minutes, Nigel. We want out. That's right. Folks, our next speaker is a passionate man about community and youth development, a dynamic and results-driven professional committed to excellent and positive change. He holds an executive master's in business administration from the Arthur Lockjack Global School of Business. And he's an established businessman with 23 plus years in leadership, business project management, and politics. UNC family, Las Lomas, make some noise for the man who's making waves. Your UNC winning candidate for La Horquetta, Talparo, Philip Watts.
When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Tell your neighbor, tell your friend, now is the time to rise and
Las Lomas, good night. Where is Las Lomas number 1, number 2, and number 3? La Horquetta Talparo, let me hear you. For the past couple days, Philip Watts has a particular candidate brain all over the stage in La Horquetta. But they say empty barrel does make real noise, yeah? So all protocol observed. Tonight, I want to get straight into business because when I walk this constituency, I'm telling you, my heart sank when I see the suffering and the pain that my people are going through. Tonight, I want to start by saying, when you're making your decision in this election, people matters, policies matters, leadership matters, representation matters. And I want the people of this country to recognize and pay attention to what is being presented for your consideration in this election, my dear friends. Because we are at the stage where you can make a decision to continue with a government who has failed to deliver on your basic needs. And have your lives harder as a result. Or there's another option. The UNC and Ms. Kamala Prasad-Bissessar offering real solutions for real people in real time, my dear brothers and sisters. We are on a program of empowerment because when UNC wins, everybody wins. We want what's the best for our people. This UNC campaign is about justice, empowerment, and real policies, plans, and programs to prosper our citizens. This is not a fete and wine, loud but saying nothing PNM style campaign. Leave that for them, because you see, that whining down and mama guy PNM politics, you could tell them, the people of Las Lomas, that they're walking here tonight, my dear friends. When I stand in front of you tonight, I don't stand here as a stranger. I stand here as someone who had walked the road, listened to your stories, stepped into your homes, and sat on your kitchen tables, my dear friends. I seen the strength, the pride, the hard-working farmers, the ambitious youths, and the elders holding their community in Las Lomas together. But I've seen frustration and abandonment and neglect. Let's call it what it is, Las Lomas. Las Lomas has been left behind by the People's National Movement. So I want to touch a bit on agriculture. This fertile land in Las Lomas, this is land that could feed the country, my dear friends. Because while Las Lomas feeds the nation, who is feeding Las Lomas? Tell me, who is feeding Las Lomas? Our friends are getting up before sunrise. All our farmers is out there working, battling the elements, and then being blocked from success by, you know what? Mud roads, broken bridges, and the system that gives them nothing in return. No irrigation, no access roads, and no support, my dear friends, for our farmers in Las Lomas. We have farmers digging drains with their own hands in this constituency, while our MP sits in the parliament with his mouth shut and his arms folded. A UNC government will change that, my dear friends. We will invest in agriculture, build the proper infrastructure, fix the bridge in Esperanza Trace, and give our farmers the tools to grow this economy again. Because when farmers rise, the entire community rise. Water, my dear friends. Imagine in 2025, and some of you are still waiting on the truck, still collecting barrels of water to bathe in Las Lomas. Children can't flush the toilets, and grandmothers hauling water up the hills. And the PNMP is still missing in action. Access to water is not a luxury, it is a right. And under a UNC government, we will still restore that right. We have done it before under Kamala Prasad-Bissessar's leadership. We increased 24/7 water supply from 18% to almost 70%, my dear friends. You don't need excuses, you need water. And that's what we will deliver, my dear friends. Roads and infrastructure. Listen to this. From Chin Chin to Huda Drive, Maraj Trace to Caroni South Bank, the roads in Las Lomas is like a war zone. In some places, it's pure bush these farmers driving on, and some of you to get home. In others, potholes big enough to swallow your tires. And if you think that's bad, try calling the ambulance or taxis. It's not just transportation issues, my friends. It's a safety issue in this constituency, especially in Las Lomas. The recreation grounds are falling apart. Look across there and look at your pavilion. Look at your pavilion across there. Youth spaces are neglected, my dear friends. The PNM talks about development, but what really they are doing in Las Lomas to develop your area, my dear friends? Tell me. The UNC will repair and build your roads. We will fix the pavilion in Las Lomas number 2, and we will put lights on the ground in Las Lomas number 3, because development must be seen and felt. Development, my dear friends, must be seen and felt, not just on a printed billboard. Housing and land. Instead of building homes, this government breaking down makeshift houses in places like Ramjat and Trace. Imagine this, my dear friends. Young people in La Horquetta cannot afford homes. Families in La Horquetta, when I walk La Horquetta, families are overcrowded. It's brother, sister, sister-in-law, brother-in-law living in one house. And large parcels of land just lie idly by in our constituency, my dear friends. But I have news for you tonight. The UNC will accelerate affordable housing, provide low-interest mortgage for your young families. The UNC will develop idle lands with proper infrastructure for you, provide grants to improve existing homes, and most importantly, involve you, the community, in every step of the way, my dear friends. Because housing is not a handout. It is a human right and a pathway to dignity, my dear friends. Flooding and drainage. What used to be a blessing is now a curse for the Las Lomas people. When the rain falls, you feel fear. Fear that water will rise into your homes. Fear that your belongings will be destroyed.
When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Tell your neighbor, tell your friend, now is the time to rise and shine. Tell your mother, tell your father, now is the time to decide. If you want leaders who can build, place your ex by the rising sun. If you want leaders who can lead properly, place your ex by the rising sun. On election day,
UNC family.
UNC, one love, one team.
Las Lomas, please make some noise for the next Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Kamala Fassad Bisesa.
When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Vote for peace. Vote for love. Vote for hope. Vote for change. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Tell your neighbor, tell your friend, now is the time to rise and shine. Tell your mother, tell your father, now is the time to decide. If you want leaders who can restore hope, place your ex by the rising sun. If you want leaders who lead with love, place your ex by the rising sun. On election day. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Tell your neighbor, tell your friend, now is the time to rise and shine. Tell your mother, tell your father, now is the time to decide.
La Horquetta Talparo, give the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago a LHT welcome. So, I will continue, my dear friends. Flooding and drainage. What used to be a blessing in Las Lomas is now a curse When rain falls, you fear that water will rise into your home. You fear of losing your belongings, that your belongings will be destroyed. And again, Foster Cummings is nowhere to be found, my dear friends. We don't want mops and press conference after the flood. We want drainage, we want desilting, and we want engineering before the flood. The UNC will treat with this crisis as it is. We will plan, we will invest, and we will fix it, because you deserve to sleep sound at night, not to fear the rain, my dear brothers and sisters. Dignity and respect. You are not backward, Las Lomas. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible. You are tax-paying, hard-working, community-building citizens, but your MP treats your loyalty like his own. He believes that when he wears that red shirt, you are loyal to him, or you should be loyal to him. Stand up, my dear friends, Las Lomas, La Horquetta, Talparo, and reject them. Reject them at the polls on the 28th of April. And we will say, not this time. Not this time at all. Las Lomas is speaking up, not with noise, but with power. Not with complaints, but with votes. And that vote will be for the party that sees you, hears you, and stands with you, my dear friends. So I say this, you have a choice to accept excuses or demand action, to accept neglect or to choose leadership, to accept we're looking into it, or to vote for a government that is ready to get the job done. Let us choose empowerment. Let us choose solutions. Let us choose leadership that cares, delivers, and transforms lives, my dear brothers and sisters. So on April the 28th, vote for the UNC, because when UNC win, everybody win. And to the PNM style mama guy, Las Lomas, tell them again that they're walking here tonight, my dear friends. Thank you.
When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Trinbago wins. Everybody wins.
Our UNC family, another round of applause for our winning UNC candidate for La Horquetta, Talparo, Philip Watts. And again, please, let's acknowledge the next Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, our political leader, the Honorable Kamala Persad-Bissessar. And the next MP for La Horquetta, Talparo, Mr. Watts, is so correct. That's the difference. On this platform, when things are spoken in the interests of the people, it's because we have a track record of delivering and serving the people of this country. Not just old talk, not after 10 years, after seeing us suffer, now you come and make promises. None of the promises, of course, reflect that you recuse yourself from cabinet over 137 times. Never in our interest. Never so we could get water, so we could have access to any sort of grants for the most vulnerable. It was all about yourself, your friends, your family, finances. Come April 28th, that stops. That stops, UNC family. We are UNC. We are led by the vision of Kamala Persad-Bissessar. We are engineered to deliver and serve. And most importantly, we are driven by love. UNC. Our next candidate is a woman that, listen, she takes away the pain, the headache better than any sort of painkiller because she gets the job done. All she comes to you and say, listen, how can I make this easier and how can I make it effective? She's a dynamic firebrand senator representing our great party in the upper house. She has served as deputy political leader since 2017. She also held positions as CEO of the Housing Development Corporation. Yes, she has a track record of entrepreneurial and management excellence for over 25 years in both the public and private sectors. You know who I'm talking about. UNC family, Las Lomas, make some noise for your winning candidate for Couva North, Miss Jearlean John.
When you're feeling under the weather,
does make me feel sweet. And people we use the sugar, and together we are complete. Darling, keep me up. Only you alone can put fire back in the soul. Keep me up. And they telling me I should lead a fire alone. But the more they tell me, the more I will. I could never let you go. Miss how she did. Y'all are coming home, I wanna see you again. All day through the night I'm dreaming. Yeah, miss how she did. When you turn it up, make it smooth and darling. When the outside is pouring rain.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your kind welcome and greeting. Good evening to the incoming Prime Minister, the Honorable Kamla Prasad Misses of Senior Council. Fellow candidates, activists, supporters, members of the media, LHD is here. Are you here? Thank you, Kuva North, the rock upon which, Kuva North, thank you, the rock upon which the UNC is built. Ladies and gentlemen, citizens of Trinidad and Tobago locked on the various media, welcome to the biggest, baddest, boldest political party in the Caribbean, the United National Congress. On its march to victory, thank you for coming out in your thousands, representative of all of Trinidad and Tobago. The reason you are here is that you know it to be true, you know it in your heart, it resonates with you, that when the UNC wins, everybody wins. When the UNC wins, you win. That is who we are as the UNC. When we were busy building our party to meet this moment, the PNM was busy destroying our country and way of life. The UNC is not only about a coalition of interests, we are also a coming together of people. The United National Congress and its People's Revolution will win the election on April 20th, 2025. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they tell you. It doesn't matter what they do. They cannot change the course of destiny. It is written that Kamla Prasad Misesa will be the second female prime minister of this country. It doesn't matter. And because of you, UNC, because of your relentless pressure or your unrelentless pressure, Stuart Young found small change in his pocket to pay public servants. You know, because that is the on-the-job training prime minister. So everything that Kamla Prasad Misesa said she's going to do, he runs and he tries to upmanship her and he announces it. But we know Stuart Young can't do anything. He's just an announcer, OJT prime minister. Because of the UNC pressure, Young saying they will ease up on the demerit system, which really was a cruel system and really acted anti the interests of our taxi drivers and maxi taxi drivers. Of course, Kamla Prasad Misesa said we are going to review that system and make it more just. Because of UNC pressure, they find Forex today for small and medium-sized businesses, many of which has gone out of business because of the PNM, because of their policies. But because of UNC pressure, they found Forex today. So let us keep at it until the 28th of April. Do not relent or take your eyes off the target, because Freedom Day is on the 28th of April, 2025. Freedom Day. Do not celebrate, however, as if you have won already, because you know the PNM is loose and desperate. They're going crazy. They don't know what to do. The polls are telling them just what they are telling us, that they are gone. So don't worry yourself when you see they come with any fake polls, because that is all kind of scheme. Just as today, they put out some kind of foolishness about San Fernando. But you know the thing with PNM, they just like to overdo. So the thing look as if it's some kind of fairy tale, some kind of nonsense. So people, please, when you see PNM put out that thing, do not call up my phone. I'm tired enough already. All right? You know that is rubbish. It makes no sense. Dr. Dowlat does not behave in that manner. So let's move on. So neither do you waste your votes with small parties fronting for the PNM. None of these parties can form any government. They can't form a Susuhan. They can't form a credit union. They can't form no government, so don't waste no time with them. So ask yourself, what purpose are they serving? They're serving your purpose, and they want to deny you your freedom. So you know on the 28th of April, what do? You get up early, and you go out because the 28th of April is Freedom Day. Will you allow these parties to deny you your freedom? Will you allow them to deny your children their laptops? Will you let them take back the baby grants? What about old age pension? Because you know they're going to take that back too. So if you allow these small parties, do not vote for them. Don't waste your time to experiment. That really, as Watch will say, that is happening here tonight. All right, so voting does not stop until 6 p.m. on the 28th of April, when you know that you have taken all the people you know to go and vote solidly for the United National Congress. For all of those, all those of you, the PNM call names for joining the United National Congress, you know that in the House of the Rising Sun, there are many mansions. And if it were not so, we would have told you. I'm sure you are happy, right? Don't let them come and try to divide us. We don't have time for that. Because when it is anybody leave from the UNC, and you know, because when they're in good house, bad houses call them, we just say, go with God. Live long and prosper. Rowley and Stuart Young called Karen Nunes Teixeira a woman of accomplishment. This woman is an attorney at law. She's a lecturer in the law school. She was a former Minister of Finance. Stuart Young, who Rowley had to lift him up like a baby to run with him over some kind of finish line. He can't face no kind of contest, but he calls Karen Nunes Teixeira, who had won an election, she's a potong. He called her potong. And Rowley felt that that was not good enough. The man who sat next to him, his senior, his superior, a man of class, a senior counsel, a man who has worked hard. The man decided that he's going to back Kamla Prasad Misasa and the UNC for the next election. What did he call him? He called him a dog. But he must know. He must know. I mean, he calls this man a dog. So if Rowley calls John Jeremy a dog, what will he call you? What will he call you? You know this is very disqualifying. If Kamla Prasad Misasa called anybody a dog, you know what happened? The newspaper couldn't have column enough to write. All now, they're hounding her. We will be sitting here crying as if it's a funeral, wondering how much seats we're going to lose by. We would have lost the election, but they are there propping up Rowley. But you know what? The ordinary man in his kitchen, the woman in her bedroom, the teenager in the toilet, they're on social media. And they say, Rowley got to go. Yellow is the code. Stuart Young has to go. Yellow is the code. And they're vexed. They're vexed because we are being carried by the ordinary man and the ordinary woman. Remember, we told you that the ground will carry you. We believe in you. Kamla Prasad Misasa believes in you. And that is why we could openly and boldly make the pledge. When UNC wins, you win. You win, and you hold us to that. You hold us to that promise, to that covenant. When UNC wins, you win. That is why we are credible people. You know what you got when Kamla Prasad Misasa was Prime Minister. Now, with a man inside here, usually, I don't call people names. Many people come up to me and say, Miss John, we like how you just talk. I don't call people names because I, as a personal value, don't get into spitting competition with skunks. But it have a man by the name of Foster Cummins, I find he going too far. He going too far. This hustler going too far. And they must feel I afraid them. But me afraid them, I from Charville. We always have something to say. We afraid nobody. I afraid them. I from Charville. But as I said, I don't get into spitting competition with skunks. So you know, if it's one thing PNM hate, just as how devil hate holy water, is when you help poor people. They don't like poor people. Them here for the rich to get richer. So I remembered, as a UNC value, in 2012, when there was flood in Digo Martin, they vote for Kamla Prasad Misasa. You know who was leading that charge? Kamla Prasad Misasa, inside the Digo Martin, to help the people who were flooded out. I remembered. There was a time, I think around the same time, St. Joseph in Laventille got flooded out. Mr. Warner, as the Minister of Works and Transport, calling up my phone from 4 a.m. When you're going, Jack Warner and I in the flood waters. I am the managing director. He's minister. We in the flood waters going to find people in St. Joseph Village, Laventille. After that same evening, we moved them to Las Alturas into brand new apartments. That is what UNC does. So when I was coming into La Horquetta, Tacoma Avenue, and water pushing my SUV, I went to my office. People started to call me distress in La Horquetta because people house flood out. I went to a lady in Lady Bird Avenue. She said, look how my fridge floating away. But that's okay. Didn't have nothing in it anyway. Cummins and them hate those kind of people. They don't care about those people. Human fridge floating away. So good Samaritans in the UNC came and sent some appliances. And I took it to them as a good UNC. Be your neighbor's keeper. Do unto others. Love your neighbors as you love yourself. Them have that as if it's something that I did that was wrong. How dare you, Cummins? You think I am you? When mothers come to you, you watching them up and down as if you're a fashion police and say, if I do this for you, what you going to do for me? And it matters not if she's pregnant. Listen to me. I don't have the time tonight. I don't have the time. Not tonight, as Jack Warner will say. You store your role inside the La Horquetta Talparo. Mind your stops and get in your section with Jearlean John. I from Charlottesville. They are doing as if when you help poor people, something wrong with that. I make no apologies for helping poor people. That is a UNC value. And when we enter on the 28th of April, we enter as a team of empathy, a team of love, a team of consideration, a team that will work hard for everybody. Because when UNC wins, everybody will win. Everybody will win. Everybody will win. Cummins don't know about a boy named Spoonhead who told me at 15 years, as he texted Miss John, what happened, Spoonhead? I have to go to court. Why? I committed on charge for attempted murder. When? 2 years ago. He was how old are you? 17. He was 15. These are the issues we have in La Horquetta Talparo. This is what you should be bothering yourself about. Not about me. If I help somebody, that is what you are called to do as a representative of the people. You are not called to walk wrong and say, if I do this, what will you do for me? That's not good enough, and we are not going to accept it. And on the 28th of April, La Horquetta Talparo will vote sensibly, and they will vote resoundingly for Mr. Philip Watts. Philip Watts. So, folks, you know he's a man can open his mouth for Stuart Young. They outsmart him, right? 11 of them had voted for Stuart Young, 9 against. I heard he was the 12th man because when they opened the book and said, here's your file, he said, friend, don't let me bring it here. Calm down and let me move on to other things. So, UNC, something is happening. The ground is ready. The people are ready to take us to a great victory. People who had talked to me in 10 years, calling up my phone. If in 10 years you didn't remember my number, please keep it forgotten. All right? Because my people of Trinidad and Tobago, they have carried me. They have comforted me. And on the 20th of April, the 99%, we are going to be in your service. When UNC wins, all of you will win. All of you will win. So, Mr. Young and the job training program cost us $500 billion. 5,000 lives. The closure of Petro Train. You see, Rowley do everything to hand over to this child, and he like a child with matches. He burned down the whole damn house, and we living in the ashes. And now it's wheat to catch, and it will take Kamla Prasad Bissessar to bring us back to some kind of sanity. So, as I said, on the 28th of April 2025, thousands of everyday Trinidadians and Tobagonians will rise to defend that for which they have fought. Freedom against tyranny. We will not raise a barricade. We will not lift our voices. We will not be marching to the tempo of drums. No big truck. We will march to the polls with the echo of our hearts, crying for justice, crying for freedom. 28th of April 2025 is Freedom Day. And as our beloved Prime Minister incoming has told us, 28th of April is what? Take it as a holiday. Because you have work to do. You have work to do. You have to go and get out to vote. You have to go and vote for freedom. Go vote for change. Go vote for your laptops. Go vote for better health care. Vote for the youths. Vote for Spoonhead. Many have lost their way. Just recently, I think there was a 17-year-old who is currently waiting to be buried in La Horquetta. First time bothering about that. He's too busy sweating up big shot people out in the night, drinking and eating, and then coming back and telling you how much he hates Indians. Or you don't let PNM people harass me. My mouth ain't good. So vote for safety. Vote on security. Trinidad and Tobago, vote for change. Vote for change. Vote for freedom. Vote for justice. So I come to say to you this evening, however difficult the moment, however frustrating the hour, it will not be long. How long? Not long, because no lie can live forever. PNM is a lie. They said they have done something, but we know they have done nothing, as Stark said. All right? Not how long, not long. Because you shall reap what you sow. And PNM will be out of office, and they will reap what they sow. They will come out here to face the wrath of the people for being too cruel for 10 years. How long, not long. How long, not long. How long, not long. Why? Because the arc of the moral universe is long, and it bends towards justice. Justice, we will have justice for Jomo Modest. Recently, I was walking in Couva North, and I saw a lady, and she ran out and she hugged me. And she said, I'm giving you this hug to take the Kamla Prasad Besessa. I'm the grandmother of Jomo Modest, who died, who they murdered, 9 years old, on Africa Grounding Enterprise. Africa Grounding Enterprise. She said the only people who talk about that is Kamla and the UNC. I want to thank her, and I'm voting for Kamla Prasad Besessa because yellow is the code. So thank you, Honorable Leader. So the people, so on the 28th of April, we'll vote for bread, peace, and justice. The people of Toko, Sandy Grande, Sturge will win. They can't win. Sturge will win Toko, Sandy Grande, and Toko, Sandy Grande will vote for bread, peace, and justice. The people of Moruga Tableland will vote for justice. The people of San Fernando West will vote for justice. People, it will not be easy because freedom ain't free. So you have to get up early. Get up early. Make your plan before. Pick up everybody. Don't wait for anybody to pick you up because you have to pay a price for your freedom. However, it's not long again. I say, how long? It will not be long. So UNC, keep your feet on the ground because the ground will carry us to a great victory. Keep hope alive. Thank you very much.
When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Tell your neighbor, tell your friend. Now is the time.
UNC family, give it up one more time for your winning candidate. That's right, Ms. Jearlean John. Again, we're advising folks, please clear the aisles. You know, there's a lot of folks here, but if you can clear the aisles, we'll appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yep. Folks, at this time, we ask that you stand. Please stand, Las Lomas, with all your energy. Please put your hands together, make some noise for our political leader, former Prime Minister, former Minister of Education, former Attorney General, and the next Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Make some noise for Kamla Prasad Besessa!
When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Tell your neighbor, tell your friend.
UNC friends and family. UNC friends and family, good evening! Good evening, good evening, good evening. All protocols observed, but I must single out the persons who will be your next members of parliament. I speak of Dominic Smith. Give him a round of applause. We stand. Philip Watts, Nigel Moses in Arima, and Richard Smith along the corridor here. Tonight, my cup is full and runneth over. To see so many of you gathered here, you know, so happy, so jovial. One thing about UNC meetings, everybody is happy. Everybody's smiling. Big it up for my sister, Jearlean John, tonight. She was a firebrand on this platform. She'll be next member of parliament for Couva North. Thank you, JJ. Thank you. She is a firebrand and she's a powerhouse of a woman. Now, you know, I never say anything to you that is pulled out of a magic hat. When I speak to you, I talk about what you see, what you hear, what you talk, what you feel daily. I talk about what you know, about what makes you happy, about what makes you sad, what makes you angry, events in your everyday life, and what you go through, because I care about what you care about. And that is because I always tell you, you have had leaders before me. You will have leaders after me, but you will never, ever have a leader who loves you as much as I do. Many of you have worked hard and studied hard to afford what you want because you are ambitious people. Your personal virtue or family virtue has always been to maximize your potential. You're very ambitious. You have always been ambitious. But now, people are just fed up. Over the last 10 years, you have seen a barrage of bad government decisions which have eroded your quality of life. Do you feel more secure today than you were 10 years ago? Are your assets more secure today than they were 10 years ago? If you answer honestly, all of you will say a resounding no, no, no. I know you're constantly whispering about where the future of TNT is heading. But one of our roles, my role, is to give a voice to your endless whispers. To be your voice for the voiceless. You do not feel safe. You hate all the taxes and excuses for the taxes. The PNM does not have the right to ruin your ambition and cripple your standard of living. The country did not decline so steeply by magic. The people in government whose hands have been on the steering wheel, like Vishnu Dan Paul and Colin Imbert, they have driven us over the precipice. For some of us, the car is still dangling on the edge. For some, it has fallen over the edge. And so I ask you tonight to ask yourselves some questions. Ask yourself, is it normal now for me to accept that any day, anywhere, I could be shot in the head? I could be kidnapped? I could be raped? Ask yourself, is that normal? Are there these questions in any way unreasonable? Has anyone in government given you good answers to these questions? No, they have not. They have not. They just continue to squeeze you more and more. There is something called learned helplessness in psychology. It is when you are faced with a constant barrage of terrible situations and conditions that you have tried to change, but you just can't. You eventually give up trying, even when new opportunities come your way to make change possible. You give up trying. So you learn to be helpless, even when simple changes could remove a massive block in front of you. What you should be aware of, and what is scary, is that some people in power can manipulate circumstances to force you to live as though you are helpless to change things. Whenever I say this, it touches people's nerves. They immediately know that this condition, and they can identify the PNM as the architects of this condition of helplessness. Our country is in a mess. It needs to be fixed. And the UNC, together with our coalition of interests, we will fix TNT with your help. We will fix it. These same people who have had their hands on the decision-making buttons for the last 10 years, which we all know they press by guests. They press those decision-making buttons by guests, and they cannot and will not fix anything. They couldn't do anything for you in 10 years. Why you want to give them one more day? Make sure on the 28th you cast your X next to the rising sun. You vote for the UNC. Here in Las Lomas, in La Horquetta, Talparo, in every seat you cast your X next to the rising sun. They couldn't do it in 10 years. Now they're finding Forex. I mean, they really take people in this country for fools, huh? They couldn't do any of these things in 10 years, and now suddenly, with an election a few days away, I think it's called bribery. They're trying to bribe you. Don't get bribed to giving them another 5 years, because their incompetence will only increase. We know what we have to do. You are smart people. You are smart people. You pay attention to the bogus reasons government is giving for the kind of decision making they're doing. When you hear the bogus reasons about why they want you to pay property tax, about why they can't stop you from being murdered or raped, as a reasonable person, you always say to yourself, why must you be punished for the incompetence of the PNM? Why must you, the ordinary citizens, be punished? Because the PNM is wicked and incompetent. We must make sure they do not see the halls of power and the parliament again. Why must you be making sacrifice after sacrifice and nothing is working? Why are you seeing no improvement for yourself when PNM financiers and fake elites are getting everything? Why workers can't get a raise in pay, but PNM spent $530 billion in their term? Why? I'll give you one reason why. Of course, they're incompetent. Of course, they don't care. But listen to this. There is money to pay workers and to finance people-centered programs. But this government prefers to give that money to its rich to get richer and to its financiers. That's their plan. I want to remind you that in 2015, before we went out of office, we passed something called procurement legislation. And that was to help deal with the corruption and the fraud for the eater foods and the elites and the financiers. The PNM came and they gutted the legislation. With proper procurement legislation we passed, our country would have saved $5.2 billion a year. With that legislation in place properly, $5.2 billion a year wasted in corruption. So the money is there. That's $26 billion saved over 5 years and $52 billion over 10 years that could have gone to workers and citizens in our land. Simple things like a vehicle inspection is a terror to go through. Why? If you don't bribe some of them, they frustrate you. They make motorists line up all day and then they fail their vehicles when they don't bribe them. Citizens and businesses are blackmailed by the government licensing office for inspections for vehicles for over 3 tons, which must go for inspections. I want to tell you, when UNC wins, we will let the many private vehicle inspection stations inspect all types of vehicles and make simple changes, such as changing the color, changing the engine. These should be simple things for the ease of life and the ease of doing business. We will do it. So all motorists will win when the UNC wins as well. I tell you, we will bring back the procurement legislation in its strongest form so that we can hope and help to wipe out the corruption, which then dribbles down. The money just goes into the corruption when we could use it to do things for you and for your children. The government is quick to say that anyone speaking up about their incompetence is trying to frighten you, but all we are doing is talking the truth. Now tell me, are you not already frightened by the thousands of murders, rapes, and home invasions? Are you not already frightened of that? You don't need me to frighten you. Are you not already frightened by the high taxes and cost of living? Are you not already frightened for your children's and your grandchildren's futures? The answer is yes. You don't need the UNC and Kamala to frighten you. This government has done all of that. They've already done it. Are you not already frightened about losing your pensions? What is even more frightening is that they are unmoved and uncaring about your problems, your fears, your day-to-day fears. And that is what is truly frightening. They just do not care. Stuart Young claims to be Prime Minister. So if he's in charge, he must see that crime and criminality, property tax, inheritance tax, online purchase tax, value-added tax, higher utility rates are all greedily taking away your assets. These assets are yours. You are the rightful owners. And if he's in charge and seeing your assets being greedily taken away, what is he doing about it? What is he doing? Nothing. Nothing. What is he telling you? What satisfactory answers have you gotten? You have gotten no answers because he and his daddy's fake elite financiers are the greedy, invisible hands just grabbing what is yours to make the rich richer. Everything you have been working for is being taken away from you. So where are you now? Young and his daddy, they are not interested in that. How much further ahead would you have been had your last 10 years been managed by leaders who care and love you? Growth was the norm with the UNC. Would the economy have been better? Would you and others have had more confidence to invest if you saw safety and security all around? There is no way to sugarcoat these facts of criminality and losses under this PNM government. You must decide how much more of what is rightfully yours you want to lose to PNM financiers. I said Young and his daddy, they don't care about that. They're not interested in listening to you. They're interested only in your vote. That is all. So when they're coming around, Philip Watts just told me, they're coming around there and offering all kinds of small contracts, attempting to buy your vote. That's all they want. Because once they get that vote, they will continue the same wickedness and incompetence from the past 10 years. This whole country, I'm sure you have all noticed their election rituals, smears, insults, excuses in full swing. That is the PNM ritual for elections. Lie, cry, and mama guy. Smears, insults, and excuses. That's all you're getting. And then, of course, all the false promises. The whole country is witnessing from the PNM campaign a cowardly retreat into the stale victimhood strategy. They blame game rhetoric, fake AI, and invocation of the tired and outdated race card. That's the PNM Bible rituals for elections. Tomorrow, Guardian Media will begin running its suppression poll. I want to warn you, suppression poll, which I had talked about months ago. So in this last week of the election, they are bringing what is called in the politics, in polling, a suppression poll to try to keep you home, to try to make sure you don't come out to vote. Those polls are not credible. No matter who they say is winning or which pseudo-intellectual name is on them, don't get tied up with these media houses and their polls just before the election. The PNM bosses and some management who run these media houses, they manipulate these polls. And I'll tell you more about it tomorrow, because we want to know how many people they interviewed. We have been doing our own polling. Media houses charge the PNM less than the UNC for advertising. Did you know that? Did you know that they're charging them less, and in some cases they're not charging them at all? When UNC wins, we're coming for them. We are coming for them. We will come for them. The state institutions are being brutalized. being forced to carry PNM propaganda. But those state agencies belong to all of you in this country, and we will have thorough inquiries into all that went on. Media houses I talked about. Unfortunately, some of journalists and photographers we see on a daily basis, they face attacks, but they are just working. They have nothing to do with what their management behind closed doors is doing to help the PNM. So the good reporters, the journalists, the photographers, don't blame them. There are bigger strings, hands pulling strings in the management of some media houses. So give the regular reporters and photographers a break. We have been conducting our own independent polling weekly, not now, since last year. Everybody say, Kamala not ready, we not ready. Well, we ready. We're ready like Freddie and everybody else. So we were doing the polling since last year, and that polling it's been ongoing, updating, and ongoing. Ignore the fake polling and the pseudo-intellectuals behind them who are simply eating our food. I always talk to you about eat our food people. Our polling clearly shows that UNC will win the general elections in Trinidad and Tobago. Nowhere has the PNM accounted for their failed promises and projects or confronted the problems of citizens. The UNC has offered our anti-crime plans, economic transformation plans, healthcare plans, education plans, revenue generation strategies, and citizens will vote for these plans. So if you want to be sane, ambitious, to see real growth, and you don't want to be a victim of crime, decide now to vote for the UNC and our partners and stick with it. Take your decision now and get ready for April 28th. Nobody must get the joy of knowing they have manipulated you to be helpless. You're bright. You have suffered. You can reason well. You know you have suffered. You know you have suffered endless losses to your security and to your assets. I say you must decide whether to grow your wealth, your life, and welfare for the UN, with the UNC, or lose all of that with Young. You must choose to change because you're seeing people being murdered. Look inside the airport, people getting killed. They say, come on, the UNC bar talking the PNM, and that may make international investors run away from Trinidad. But you have man getting shot down in the airport. Another word about it. Nothing done, nothing said. This government cannot address the pressing issues affecting our country. Murders, home invasions, rapes, robberies, high food prices, unemployment, increasing cost of electricity and water, increasing phone charges, property tax, decline in GDP, natural gas shortages, poor roads, flooding, non-existent healthcare, inflation, increasing debt levels, business closures, massive retrenchments, Balize House corruption, and a crumbling, crashing justice system. That's what we got. PNM speakers have not addressed these issues, which are battering the population. Instead, the outgoing PNM government is once more caught red-handed in their ongoing desperate mission to lie, cry, and mamagai, to gaslight the population through its list of broken, repeated promises in its 2025 election manifesto. Let me speak to that. They said 25 for 2025. There's a summary. And I will tell you that document is merely another blueprint of the PNM's serial pattern of repeated and broken promises. It's the same, this manifesto of theirs, it's really as I say, talking about, look, you know what it is? It's blah, blah, blah. That's all that it is. You know what that manifesto is? Just blah. Because there's nothing in it. Over 90% of the matters listed in the summary initiatives, the 25, are repeated and broken promises, copied and pasted from the 2015 and 2020 election manifestos. Check it. They're all online. And many of you are online. You can do it for yourself. Just type in the words and Google these, and you will see that they are repeat, 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 and broken. What did I always tell you? PNM means promises never materialize. Never, never. Several of the manifesto initiatives contradict the failed policies they implemented during their disastrous decade-long tenure, reinforcing that they are blatantly deceiving the population. Several of these 2025 promises ignore the fact that the PNM reversed significant gains made by the former UNC government 2010-2015 under my tenure as Prime Minister, which is a clear example of PNM's age-old gaslighting technique. The manifesto plan about pensions is a blatant lie, considering they have never publicly withdrawn the bill they laid in the last parliament, which had the stated purpose of cutting people's pensions. They never withdrew it. I told this story many times, how they dropped it on a Friday evening, and some of us don't let nothing pass. So I told Nicholas Morris, I said, Nick, pull up that bill now. It's on the order paper. Let's see. And that's what it was about, to cut people's pensions. They come in this manifesto saying what? They go in and increase pensions. You hear lie? You hear lie? That is lie. That is lie. That is lie. So, most dangerously, some of those promises, as I say, contradict their own action in the past 10 years. Some of them are just laughable, given the PNM's dismissal track record in fighting crime. And most dangerously, some of those promises are blatant untruths. The PNM has consistently failed to deliver on over 90% of its promises, despite spending over, as I said, $500 billion in 10 years. The 90% broken promises. Every year for the budget, we do the research, we do a fact-checking, and they come, we remind them, last year you said that in the budget. Every year for our budget replies, we fact-check, and we've done that again. So the data shows when you do that, and anyone can do it. Anyone, because it's all online. The Hansards are online. The data shows 490 budget promises were made in the last 10 years by the PNM. The total number of broken budget promises over this period is 373 broken promises. And the total number of repeated broken budget promises is 100. So they're broken promises made over the years, and then they are repeat, repeat, repeat. And they think nobody notices or pays attention. Tomorrow I'll send out a release where we have done the research for every one of the 25 plans, and you will see the data from their own writings. Of course, Hansard's and budget books, we have that already prepared. Tonight I'm just summarizing that budget is going to take, that manifesto will take you nowhere further or better off in the next 5 years. This latest PNM manifesto is nothing short of a desperate election gimmick cobbled together in a last-ditch attempt to prevent their massive election defeat at the polls. And just in case some of you have doubts, I ask you, in 10 years, as I say, nothing. Where is the plywood factory you promised? Where is the sandals you promised? Where is the Toko Highway? Where is the not so insignificant sum of money from Bill Gates that the PNM said they were getting from Bill Gates? You remember that? Where's that money? Where are Dragon Gas? The Toko Port, the Labra Dry Dock, they promised. Where is NICOAN? Where are the VAT refunds and workers' back pay? Where is the roadmap to recovery, where they outsmarted eat-a-food fake elites and pseudo-intellectuals? Why did the PNM sell out the country's future to financiers and special interests, resulting in about $134 billion in debt? That is debt that you and your children will have to pay, $134 billion in debt. When the UNC wins? When the UNC wins? Everybody wins. Everybody wins. The UNC is offering plans and policies so that we can put money in your pockets. When UNC wins, new media and social media content creators win. They will win too. The rise of new media and social media has transformed the creative industries and digital media sector, offering unprecedented opportunities for individuals to monetize their creativity and upend traditional advertising. Content creators can now produce low-cost, high-efficiency content using accessible tools like smartphones and leveraging platforms like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and others to generate income, to get revenue. The advent of AI further enhances this potential, enabling creators to streamline production processes, improve content quality, and expand reach. This industry allows individuals to work remotely, build audiences through followers, subscriptions, blogs, and podcasts, and earn revenue through advertising, brand partnerships, and affiliate marketing. Influencers have become key players in driving product, service, and messaging sales. So we can then establish clear guidelines for advertising transparency, sponsored content disclosure, protect intellectual property rights for digital creators. You know, when I was in government the first time, under Mr. Pandey's leadership, as I'm talking about intellectual property, that was one of the departments that fell under my watch as Minister of Legal Affairs. And I remember within 2 days, I went to Parliament with 9 pieces of legislation. 9 pieces of legislation, all dealing with protecting copyrights, digital rights, creators. So I'm saying we have to deal with giving to our talented people creativity. We put into that law, I put in works of mass to be copyrighted, to be protected by the copyright laws. And all our creative people, tonight I think you'll hear some of our young talent. They're here to entertain us. Are they here, Ravi? The young singers? Not Stuart Young, sorry. The singers. So you'll hear them after me, after I'm done. So we will protect intellectual property rights for digital creators. We'll create fair policies for recognizing earnings generated through online platforms under our financial rules, enabling access to banking services and government incentives. We'll create a creative content development fund to provide loans for aspiring content creators to access equipment, training, and mentorship programs. We will partner with the private sector companies to sponsor workshops on digital marketing strategies and AI integration in content creation. We will offer courses on new media and social media management, video production, graphic design, and AI tools. We will enhance affordable access to internet connectivity nationwide to ensure citizens can access online platforms efficiently. We'll establish co-working spaces, equipped with tools like cameras, editing software, and high-speed internet for content creators. That's where we get the money. This is where we can create jobs, and this is where we can earn revenue, we can bring money in. When the UNC wins, new media and social media content creators will also win. And I'll go further. When UNC wins, cannabis agriculture will also win to create more revenue streams for us. The last day we showed these brochures, so I'm not just talking off the top of my head. These are in fact manifestos that we put out on our websites and in the public domain. So one is a UNC-led government will embrace artificial intelligence, digital technology, and new media. This is the AI manifesto. And the other one is cannabis, expanding the cannabis industry as part of agricultural policy. Remember, cannabis is what we're talking about marijuana. Expand the cannabis industry. So it's all in our manifestos. We have been putting out our plans. So the UNC will implement a comprehensive framework to regulate large-scale cultivation, agro-processing, and export cannabis, which all are essential for unlocking this industry's full economic potential. Did you know that the global market, cannabis market, is projected to exceed US dollars 100 billion, US dollars 100 billion by 2030, with demand spanning medical marijuana, oils, and edibles. For Trinidad and Tobago, this represents an opportunity to position marijuana, hemp, as an agricultural product akin to sugarcane of the past and cocoa, where small farmers can participate alongside larger entities in cultivation or agro-processing. This approach ensures that they all will be included, whilst at the same time we will leverage TNT's agricultural expertise. The UNC recognizes that developing a regulated marijuana industry is an extension of agricultural policy aimed at economic diversification. This is not about encouraging recreational use, but creating an organized sector that benefits farmers, entrepreneurs, and investors while adhering to international standards. We will implement the Cannabis Control Authority bill. Implement the Cannabis Control Authority bill to establish commercial cultivation, agro-processing, and export licensing framework. We will create guardrails to ensure compliance with international trade regs and quality controls, especially for medical marijuana exports. We will provide incentives and training programs for small farmers interested in cultivating commercial marijuana. We will facilitate cooperatives where small farmers can get together, pool resources to access agro-processing facilities or sell crops to larger entities. We will ensure that marginalized communities affected by past cannabis criminalization have access to license and opportunities within the industry. We will develop partnerships with regional CARICOM partners and leaders to harmonize standards for medical marijuana exports. We will position TNT as a key supplier of pharmaceutical-grade cannabis products in developed markets. As I close, I ask some more questions. What is the reason, what is the source of all this P&M discomfort? What is the source of all their fear tactics? What is the source of their heightened desperation, their heightened divisiveness? What is causing the P&M to panic? What is causing the P&M to panic? The UNC and the coalition of interest has the P&M on the run. We have them on the run everywhere. What is causing the P&M to attack public servants, social media persons, and everybody who is fed up with them? That is their attack. The P&M's worst nightmare in this election is that the people will get their fair share of the resources of Trinidad and Tobago. That is their fair. The people of our land must have an equal share, an equal space an equal place in this land, which is ours. Their worst nightmare of the PNM, excuse me, the PNM's worst nightmare is that public servants will get more money in their pockets. We will do that. We will work with the public servants. The elderly will have a better standard of living. Young people have meaningful jobs, but they will have more access to affordable homes. And you will have more access to Forex, the famous Forex that they now find. After 10 years, they now find in Forex. So we are asking for your vote, yes. But we want to earn your vote. We want to work for that vote. As we approach election day, we continue to be steadfast in our commitment to earning your vote. We have been sharing our people-centered plans and policies with you for quite some time now. We have been very strategic. Our platform has been one of truth and empowerment. We are not about a fete and wine, and Mama Guy politics Philip spoke about earlier. It's not about a fete and the wine. Of course, we'll have nice music. Okay, I mean, have some beautiful songs, and we love the music. But that's not what it is about. We are the party in this election with a campaign that is positive. We'll meet you where you are, in national meetings, in various constituencies, community meetings in your areas, and cottage meetings on your streets. We are also the only party in this election to take the time to sit and hear from you. When we have our weekly town hall meetings, remember those weekly meetings? And people think this just started. If you all have a good memory, we started town hall meetings sometime since last year. It's just that we're doing more of them now because there are a lot of governance issues that are to be raised. And we are present on all media platforms so you can see for yourself and read for yourself. This is because we want you to know that we understand how serious this election is and that we are not taking anything or anyone for granted. As we always say, yellow is the code. Yellow is the code. Love is the code. Love is the code. And when UNC wins, everybody wins. Tonight I tell you a favorite Bob Marley song that I like. I want to just give you a few words. And when I ask you, can you feel it? Can you feel the victory? Can you taste the victory? Because you see, there's a natural mystic flowing through the air. Silent yet loud. You have toiled and you have labored so hard for this moment. One aim, one destiny, marching towards a victory for the people. And that is a victory for the UNC and our coalition partners on the 28th of April. I remind you, no weapon formed against us shall prosper. I feel your passion. I share your values. I want your support and help to continue the work we need to do to improve the quality of your lives. With your help, we will build a better future and deliver the country you deserve. I once more inviting you to take my hand. Will you take my hand? Take my hand and help me rebuild our nation into a land of prosperity, security, equality, peace, justice, and happiness for all. On April 28th, we will say no to this bullying government. On April 28th, the sun will rise and shine its light on all. I have told you, don't go to work. Stay home on election day, but do what? Go out and vote. And make sure everyone you know comes out to vote on the 28th. And when we form the government, I will not penalize you for staying home on the 28th and not going to work. So don't get frightened. Don't get chained up. We will take care of you. Stay home and go out to vote. Cast that vote. Go to vote early. take your car and phone and spend the day carrying out voters to the stations. People are asking, how can I help? What can I contribute? This is a way that every one of you can contribute. Going early, casting votes, and then picking up others and taking them, calling them to vote. Election day is one day off from work for the next 5 years, for a better 5 years. So, I remind you again, you have had leaders before me. You will have leaders after me. But I always tell you, you will never ever have a leader who loves you as I do. I love you all. Yellow is the code. Yellow is the code. Thank you all very much. Thank you. God bless.
When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Tell your neighbor, tell your friend, now is the time to rise and shine. Tell your mother, tell your father, now is the time to decide. If you want leaders who can build, place your ex by the rising sun. If you want leaders who can lead properly, place your ex by the rising sun. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team.
Another round of applause for our honorable political leader and next Prime Minister, Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Ms. Kamala Persad Bissessa. Are you ready, UNC? Are you ready? Kickstart this evening's entertainment with the one and only the man, Squeezy Rankin and DP.
Yo.
Hey, hey,
Yo,
hey,
yo,
hey,
yo, yo.
Hey.
UNC make some
family!
noise!
See. This is a truthful calypso. You want everybody.
Pull it, pull it, pull it, pull it, pull it, pull it.
UNC family, how we feeling?
When UNC win? When UNC win? Oh,
And don't forget on the 28th, we go in and vote.
Yellow is the what?
On election day, vote UN. One love. But see right now, who we voting for? Puppet.
UNC. Hey, this is a truthful calypso.
Hey.
The whole world everybody know. The PNM have to go. And the people saying so. Cause we don't know how to cope. At the end of our rope, as we slip down the slope, we can still find some hope in Kamala. How we voting?
Yeah, we voting for Kamala.
What's she bringing?
Yeah, we voting for Kamala.
Everybody say Kamala. Cause when UNC win, everybody win.
Kamala.
How we voting?
Yeah, we voting for Kamala.
Vote for the UNC.
Yes, we voting for Kamala.
Everybody.
Yes, we voting for Kamala.
Hey, the whole world already know Trinidad and Tobago, a beautiful paradise, but still is now we blight. Too much murders in the land, robberies and home invasion. The PNM was a mistake, so on April 28th, how we voting?
Yes, we voting for Kamala.
What UNC bringing?
Yes, we voting for Kamala.
Everybody.
Yes, we voting for Kamala.
On the 28th of April, who we voting?
Kamala.
UNC.
Yes, we voting for Kamala.
What's she bringing?
Let's see progress with Kamala.
Everybody.
Everybody say Kamala.
Every vote for UNC means we stand for charity.
Hold it.
And safe for security, where we can protect we family. Remember when UNC win, is everybody win. Who will ask all the tax and give the children laptops is on April 28th.
Yes, we voting for Kamala.
Let's return to better days.
Let's see progress with Kamala.
Everybody,
Everybody say Kamala.
put your X by rising sun.
Kamala.
Who we voting?
Everybody voting for Kamala.
Hey,
Yes, we voting for Kamala.
everybody.
Everybody say Kamala.
When UNC wins, everybody wins.
Hi, my name is Hannah Henry, and at the age of 12 years old, I passed for Bishop Anstey High School. At the time, I didn't have access to a laptop, and my mom couldn't afford it. But thankfully to the UNC government, I was able to have access to one, and it was so much easier to not have to worry about sending in my assignments on time. And I'm so grateful. Thanks, Auntie Cams. When UNC wins, everybody wins.